Hello everyone, my name is Charles Radi. I run security for our Accenture Cloud platform, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about cloud security and why it's important. And we're going to actually take you through a few myths and play a little bit of a game in the beginning here, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we kind of are able to secure our cloud environment and the things that we put in place in order to make sure that we're operating in a nice, secured and controlled environment for our customers. So the first thing is, taking this opportunity while we're going on our journey to cloud this is a chance for us to kind of upgrade our security as well, right? And so when we go to the cloud, I always encourage our clients to take this opportunity to enhance your security capabilities, and that's really what this presentation is about. So first one is, we talk about, I hear a lot of customers ask us, the cloud is inherently insecure, and that's actually a myth, right? And the reason for that is that the cloud providers themselves are really encouraged and get looked at by a lot of different compliance and regulatory bodies. Also this whole notion of multi-tenancy, the fact that somebody would be able to get in there and actually get all of your data sets is highly unlikely that that's going to happen. So cloud is not inherently insecure. In fact, it's more secure than your own data centers. The next myth that we talk about is the fact that there's more breaches that are happening inside of the cloud, right? And that's actually a myth, right? So the same type of breaches that are occurring within your own data center are the same types of attack surfaces that customers are coming into. And in fact, again, those data centers that are hosted by the various cloud providers have a lot of necessary security controls put into place that don't allow for breaches to happen, right? So this is a myth. The next one is access control to your data is more important than physical access to your data sets, right? This is actually true. So what you want to do is make sure that you're providing the right access levels. So you want to have a good identity and access management strategy in place and making sure that people that have to have access to it, in fact have access to it. Same thing goes for any public information that's out there. If you're going to put something out there, it all goes to access controls and who can access that information and what can they do with it. So even if something's publicly available, I would encourage you to encrypt that information in case someone were to get in there and get that information. They don't have the tools in order to decrypt it and therefore look at your data. The next one talks about the security tools and their capabilities are not ready for cloud. In fact, this is a myth. So most of these providers that are cloud product vendors that are out there now are born in the cloud, and they understand what are the certain attack surfaces and vectors and threats that come in from the cloud. And they do a very good job of being able to deploy and provide security and control governance of the cloud environments, and they know specifically what to look like. The other thing is that these new tools are all API driven. So the way that you access the cloud in an automated fashion is through APIs. So they use all their APIs in order to give you all these different types of security checks. And so these tools are very robust and they cover a wide gambit. They provide compliance for you as well. So the next one is talking about security maintenance in cloud can be just as straightforward. This is actually true. And so what we've seen, in fact, today the CEO of Microsoft announced that his whole cybersecurity program, it all comes down to the operations of it. So your SecOps part of this, being able to take your same policies and procedures once they've been updated for the cloud and move them out to the cloud, it's all in the operations and the SecOps and how you go and apply and watch what's going on in your environment. They can create all these great keys for you and padlocks to get in the front door, but if nobody's watching them and you don't have alarms being set off when someone's doing something that's a breach or non-compliant, then you're not going to be able to know what to do, right? So a good incident response model and how you integrate with that. So those are the myths. Now I'll get into a little bit of talking about, as someone that's managing a cloud estate, you have different questions that you're asking, right? You want to know that whatever you put out there, your resources can be managed and monitored. You want to know that the access that you're giving to your developers now that you're moving to a DevOps model, that you have the right controls in place and the right role-based access control for what they can and can't do. And you also want to make sure that you have one centralized place that you can go to that integrates all of your ITSM processes or whatever other processes you need to follow, and also hooks into your DBMSs for CMDB databases, right? So at the end of the day, I want to ensure that my cloud estate is secured, and I want to ensure that people have the right access, and I want to ensure that if something were to happen that's not compliant, that we have a way to notify and create an incident from it. To do that, we follow a standard security by design, which is what we kind of go through here. I'm not going to go through the details of this slide, but essentially, We have a bunch of different regulatory and compliance bodies that we have to adhere to. We have different security domains that we have to make sure that we're covering. And then out from that comes the different product offerings that we have that are available through ACP inside the platform, as well as offerings that we provide to our customers. So a quick summary of what we have for those are, we have managed security services that we can select. They range from anything from vulnerability and threat management to identity access management, security event monitoring, as well as this new notion of DevSecOps and starting to bring security to the left. So a lot of the automation when an application is actually going out there is going to run through some security checkpoint before it's even allowed to get into production. Along with that is a lot of what I hear from a lot of our cloud providers themselves when customers talk to them is about compliance. How do they make sure that they're being compliant with whatever regulatory body that they need to comply with, right? And so we're going to offer these blueprints, automated blueprints. First we're going to start off with PCI, then we're going to start off with high trust and HIPAA, and these are going to allow us to guarantee for our customers that they've deployed a specific compliant environment. And then the current sets of services that we already offer are things like patching, as a service, we provide antivirus as a service, we provide hardened images as a service, and we provide monitoring as a service. So all these as a services now are starting to be able to come to you through this security service catalog where you can order them up and be compliant. And one of the next big things that we're looking at for this year, putting into the platform, is called Compliance Watch. And Compliance Watch basically is going to allow you to, at any one point in time, be able to continuously monitor your environment and be able to tell auditors and provide them reports and dashboard views of when they're not compliant. So it'll alert, it'll tell you what's going on with the environment, and it'll also allow you to go and give remediations of what needs to be done. So as part of our security operations, we currently have in existence tools such as patching, antivirus, OS hardening, and the ability to do patching of those systems as well. In addition to that, we're also adding certifications. So our channels have indicated to us that they would be great if we would be able to provide PCI compliance as well as HIPAA and high trust. So we're going to go after those certifications this year, along with some CSA certifications for things like NIST 853 as well. And as part of when I talk to a lot of these cloud providers, they tell me that one of the biggest questions they get asked of from their customers is about compliance. So we're introducing this notion of a tool set called Compliance Watch, and Compliance Watch is basically going to allow us to look across any one of these security control frameworks or any of these regulatory bodies such as PCI or HIPAA and be able to tell a customer where they are at any one point in time, such that an auditor comes in there, they can have this continuous monitoring and be able to generate a report and a dashboard view that tells them their current security posture against that control framework. So that's it, coming to you from the conference floor here at the Microsoft Ignite event. Come visit us in booth 473 where we can give you a demo of all these great capabilities that I just highlighted for you.